Naja here, and I am back with another video with my Selena wig, giving you librarian teas. Today is going to be a story time about one of the jobs that I used to have a long time ago. Not really a long time ago, but like college-ish, like right after I left college. And yeah, I'm just gonna get right into it. I've never talked about it before. It's when I used to work at a bank, but I didn't work at the bank. I worked like in the cafe section of the bank. And why I quit, I literally was only there for maybe like 2 weeks and I quit. So we're just gonna get into all of that stuff. If you like my story time videos, please give this video a big thumbs up. Sorry again, I'm gonna probably be apologizing a lot this week for my mouth. I just don't want anybody new coming in and being like, what's going on? So yeah, sorry, my mouth is swollen right now, so sorry if I'm not really projecting that much. I'll like add subtitles or something if I feel like I'm not really enunciating stuff right, so no worries. Okay, so this happened when I was around, I wanna say 19. I was 19, and this was when I had left the Indian restaurant job and as well as the cleaning service job that I had, and I just wanted to get something brand new and start over. So I went back on Craigslist, and a lot of you guys are like,
how did you get all of these like weird ass jobs?
Like all the jobs I got off Craigslist was the hookah bar, the nightclub hookah bar thing. That was the first one that I got off Craigslist. Then I did the Indian restaurant, and then I did the house cleaning service, and then I got this job that I'm telling you guys about right now. Did it all off Craigslist. I don't advise getting jobs off of Craigslist because notice the pattern of stupid little shit happening all the time, like non-trustworthy shit happening all the time. Like I don't suggest getting a job off of Craigslist. Depending on where you live though, like because like where I live, I'm in an area where it's like there's not a lot of freelance work here. So it's like if you maybe lived in like Miami or LA or like, you know, New York, I could see how you can get a good gig on Craigslist, but here, nah, you're not getting a good gig. It's gonna be something weird. Like you gotta be careful. But I was young, I needed money, I didn't care. So I saw this ad on Craigslist, and it was basically for a cafe. Now I did not know any details. All it said was it's a cafe. We need somebody behind the register as well as a cook. Like you had to know how to work a register, you had to know how to cook, and you had to know how to do dishes. From my serving experience, I knew how to work a register. I did not have any experience in cooking. And I did used to wash dishes every once in a while at the Indian restaurant. So in my head, I was just like, okay, well, if I go here, I can get some experience on the line cooking. So maybe I can get some more money at a different restaurant or something like that. Like, I don't know why, but when I was in college, I was just like very driven by the whole restaurant type job thing. Like, I just love the fast pace and the quick money of it. And I don't know what happened. This is the job that literally turned my love of that type of environment around and made me want to work at a call center. Like this was the job that did it for me. I responded to the ad, I put in my resume, I tweaked it all up, like, and you know, I just waited. So maybe like a few days went by and I do get a phone call from this man. We're gonna call this guy Larry. So Larry, you know, traditional old school Italian dude, Larry. He hits me up and he was just like,
hey, how are you? How old are you?
You know, just asking me all this stuff.
Do you think you can come in for an interview tomorrow?
And I was like, oh yeah, sure.
Look, I didn't really specify this on the listing, but this job will be in a bank.
And I'm like, a bank? A bank? What do you mean a bank? Like, what the fuck? So I'm like, okay, so is it like a food truck? Like we go to different...
No, like there's literally a cafe in the bank and we work in the bank.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, so here's the address to the bank. Go to the bank.
I have never heard of this bank before in my life, and I'm not gonna say the name of the bank, but it's like a foreign name or whatever. I've never heard of this bank in my freaking life, but apparently a lot of people bank with them because it was a big ass building. So, you know, I drive there, hold on, I'm gonna be right back. I gotta take my dog out and then I'll finish this. Okay, I'm back. I just had to go and walk around the block with her real quick because she was crying. But okay, let me see, where was I? So basically, I'm just going to skip towards the interview. Since I was going to be at a bank, I did not know how they wanted me to dress, because like even though it was a cafe, the cafe was still at the bank. I was like, I don't really know what I'm supposed to be doing, so I kind of just went like business casual, like, you know, black jeans, black shirt, you know, regular canvas shoes, and you know, I put my hair up in a bun, like little stuff like that, just so it's because I did not know what to expect. The other two people was a girl and a guy. The girl was dressed in like full business attire, and the guy was dressed as if he was like a line cook at Bono's, like no fucks given. And yeah, we all waited in the lobby of the bank. So the bank actually gave us like badges and stuff to even get in to go to our interview. So the bank printed us each out some visitors badges or visitor passes or whatever, and we had to sit there and wait for the owner, Larry, to open up. So we had to be at the bank at like 5 in the morning. The cafe ran from 6 a.m. to 2 p.m. Okay, so it was either 1 p.m. or 2 p.m. I really want to say it was 2 p.m. though. And that was a big deal for me because I was like, wow, I'm actually about to get like a full 8 hours, because at this point in my life when this was going on, I was getting over 8 hours a day, but it consisted of 2 jobs. So I'm like, wow, this is gonna be my first job where I'm actually getting like a full 8 hours Gucci, like we're good. Finally, Larry comes in.
Follow me to the back, to the break room.
So, you know, me and the other 2 people, we follow Larry, and he takes us to the break room, and it's like there's a break room, normal break room, vending machines, microwave, stuff like that, tables, but then there's this cafe opening on one of the walls, and if you look back, there's like people prepping and stuff like that, and Larry was like,
that is where you will be working back there. You know, people will come here throughout the day until around like 2 p.m. and buy stuff from you. Breakfast, we get the most influx because people want breakfast sandwiches, stuff like that.
And you know, it sounded really easy, to be honest.
Okay, so what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna talk to you guys one at a time, and that'll be that. And then, you know, you can leave and I'll call you if you got the job. If you don't have the job, then you won't be receiving the call.
So I'm like, okay, easy. So, and with me, whenever jobs go like that, it's always like, okay, well, if you're not gonna give me a call, I'm just gonna keep looking for another job and shit on you if, sucks for you, not shit on you. Sucks for you if you end up calling me when you fucking felt like it, but I need my money now, bitch. Like, I need a job right now. I'm not about to sit here and wait for you. So boom, I go, I don't know what order I went, but I go, and basically the interview was just like, have you ever worked a register? And I was like, yes. Have you ever worked in the restaurant business? I was like, yes. Have you ever worked in a customer service position? Yes. I was a server. I did this. I was a host. I did that. Like, I used to prep stuff at the Indian restaurant, like such like appetizers and dips and stuff like that. And he asked me,
okay, now, do you use drugs?
No, I don't.
Bitch, I know you fucking lied.
All the jobs at this point in my life, I had not had a big girl job yet, okay? Ratchet Court was my big girl job. I never went into an interview expecting anybody to even ask me about drugs, because all of the jobs that I have worked did not ask, because it was not a requirement to be drug tested. So I was just looking at him kind of crazy, and I'm just like, no, lying like fuck, knowing that I smoke weed every fucking day and that I was gonna smoke a blunt right after that fucking interview. I was like, no, and he was like,
okay, perfect, because even though this cafe, the food work, it does not require a drug test, but because the cafe is in the bank, we have to operate under the bank's regulations. So yeah, you have to have clean piss to work here.
Oh, that's completely fine with me, it's whatever. Because in my head, I'm just like, I'll just go buy the jazz juice. Let me know in the comments below if y'all know about that jazz. You get that jazz, you take it, and your piss will be good for like a few hours. Like, fuck it, like, you'll be straight. So I really wasn't tripping about it. It's so funny though, like when you're a stoner and it's like, okay, you know you need to stop smoking to pass the drug test, but instead of stop smoking, we're just gonna figure out anything that we can do to keep smoking but make it seem like we're not. Like, I'm pretty sure we've all been there in our life at some point. I know I have. So maybe like 2 days go by after the interview. 2 days go by and I get a call from Larry.
Yeah, so I just want to let you know you have the most experience. I really like your vibe. I feel like you would be a good fit for the team. Like, let's do it.
I was like, okay, so would you like when do you want me to submit the drug test?
the drug test would actually be coming out of my pocket. So I want to do like a test run, you know, 2 weeks or whatever, see how you vibe, see if this is a fit for you as much as it's a fit for me. And then once we both feel like, you know, this is going to work, then I'll come out of pocket and pay for the drug test for you to have.
So it's basically, even though people needed to be drug tested to work at the bank was not providing the testing. Larry had to go out of his own pocket and do the testing, the same way he had to go out of his own pocket to do background checks and stuff like that. So I was like, okay, Gucci, no problem. That's cool, because at least then, you know, this gives me enough time. I actually preferred it that way to see if I even wanted to work there, because I'm not about to, you know, like submit a drug test or whatever and I don't like the job and then I just wasted my money on some jazz. So I was like, you know what, this is perfect for me too, Larry. Let's get it.
Okay, I need you to be here at 6. The front desk will print you out a badge, your own personal badge, and you have to keep track of that badge. Like, you keep that badge on you at all times.
And I was like, okay, cool.
Then you're gonna come in and, you know, the ladies in the back are gonna help you.
And I'm like, all right, awesome. I come in the next morning and, oh, and he told me the uniform. He said I can't get a uniform shirt yet, but to just wear like a teal polo or some shit like that. So I had to go out to Walmart and buy a fucking teal polo, because you'll never catch me dead walking around with a fucking teal polo. And I'm so sorry to anybody that's their style, but that's just not what you're about to catch Naja wearing. You won't catch me wearing a polo, period. So boom, I pop up in the lobby. I remember specifically I had my hair in a bun. It was like a slick back bun though, because I'm like, there's no point in looking cute at this motherfucking job. Like, there is no point in looking cute, and I gotta be up early. What are we doing? So I had my hair in like a slick back bun. I wore the black polo, some pants, and some Vans. And, you know, I went up to the front. I took my picture for my badge, and, you know, I just walked to the back. Well, no, I'm lying. I didn't walk to the back by myself. So I took my badge and then some lady walked up. There's a lot of different characters in this, so I'm really not gonna give anybody names because I don't want it to get too confusing. The main people you need to know is Larry. We're gonna call this other girl Reggie, and or like Regina, but we're gonna call her Reggie, but her name's Regina. Like, you get what I'm doing there? Yeah, that's pretty much it, because the rest of the old ladies are kind of just like irrelevant. But anyway, so one of the old ladies from the kitchen comes up to me and she's like,
Hey, you must be the new girl.
and I'm like, yeah.
Okay, follow me to the back, because we don't go into the cafe through the break room. There's like a back room.
So I'm like, okay. So I follow her and she's not even talking to me really, and she's older than me. Like, she is like my grandmother's age, like older than me, like not even my mother's age. Like, she has to be like in her mid 60s, almost late 60s. So we're walking and we get to the back and we get to the cafe, like our end of the, like, it's not even like, it's literally like if you stand in the break room and you look through the window that is for the cafe, you see the kitchen. Like, you know what the kitchen looks like. It's really small. I did not realize how small it was until I got in there. Like, it was suffocatingly small. And I'm just like, okay, this is like on some cafeteria lunch lady type shit right here. But you know what, Naja? We gotta get this fucking bread. Larry wasn't in there yet. Larry doesn't, apparently she was like, Larry don't clock in until 8. Whatever. But there was like 3 or 4 old ladies in there, okay, there was one lady that had to have been like in her 40s, and then the other 3 ladies had to have been like in their mid 60s, late 60s. Like, and I'm not even exaggerating. Like, that's the crazy, I'm not trying to, because y'all always know, because whenever I be like, oh, you know, she was older, and then I say she's 28, I don't mean older as in like old, like senior citizen. I mean older as in mature. No, these women were actually senior citizens to the point where it's like, okay, not trying to be a bitch, but y'all don't got no retirement fund, and if y'all was my grandma, y'all would not be working. If my grandma was working at that fucking place at the age she is now, my grandma would be in this fucking house right now. My grandma would not work for shit. I'll be damned. These women were old, okay? And I'm not trying to be over dramatic, not trying to be disrespectful. I'm just saying, these ladies was old as fuck. Of all of these ladies, there was one girl there, and her name, she's like a tomboy. That's why I said I want to call her Reggie, even though, but I don't want you guys to think she's a boy, but she's a girl, she's a tomboy. Her name's Reggie, redhead. She looked like she was in her early 20s, maybe like 22, 23. She had orange hair, she had big old gauges, but she took her plugs out, so it was just like her earlobe was just hanging. She wore her polo, but she wore like the athletic sleeves under it, so you couldn't really see if she had tattoos or not or anything, but I could just envision her with tats. And then she wore these ugly ass fucking Crocs. Like, okay, cool. There's somebody like close to my age group in here, because at first when I saw all of these older women in here, I'm like, okay, they're automatically, because even when I worked around people who were Reggie's age, for me being 19, even when I worked around people Reggie's age, I always felt a little bit left out because I was younger. So when you put somebody who is my grandmother, some of them older than my grandmother's age, and then me, I already know they're looking at me like, this little girl. Like, you get what I'm saying? So I kind of had a sigh of relief when I saw Reggie there, because I was like, okay, cool. Like, it's not only is she another girl, but she's another girl my age. Like, dope. The older lady that walked me in explained the stations to me. She was like,
okay, look, this is the oven. This is where we clean stuff. This is the potato chips. This is the cash register. But, you know, when you're new, you flip bacon.
what?
When you're new, you flip bacon.
Okay, I know how to cook bacon, so that's cool.
No. Have you cooked bacon in the oven?
Yeah.
Perfect. Okay, so you're gonna be cooking 16 trays of bacon by this time every day. Like, you're gonna be constantly putting
On Craigslist, it said y'all needed somebody to work the cash register, not you needed a bacon girl. Like, so I'm like, you know what, Naja? Get this bread. Get this bread, bitch. Get this bread. Boom, you know, lady was like, are you ready? I'm about to show you how to do it. And I was like, okay. So she put a hairnet on me. She was like,
yeah, you gotta wear a hairnet.
and I'm looking around, and bruh, I'm so tired of these motherfuckers in this restaurant establishment who think like natural hair is just like, oh, so dirty, but Caucasian hair is not dirty for whatever reason in their brain, when it's like, I've never had a curl in my food, but I've definitely had some Caucasian hair in my food before. No offense to my Caucasian subscribers. I love y'all, boo, and I know y'all not nasty like these motherfuckers I'm talking about right now. But it's like, they be the main people who be telling me, oh, put on a hairnet, put on a hairnet. But then when I look around, y'all bitches don't got on no hairnets, and y'all the main people hair that be in people food. Like,
What's not clicking? What's not clicking?
like, I'm not even trying to get heated. I just noticed that. Like, that shit be pissing me off every fucking time I get a job in the food. They always be like, wear a hairnet, and I'm looking around and y'all don't gotta wear no fucking hairnets. But whatever. So I put on a fucking hairnet. And it was basically like this big ass tray, like this big, and I just stripped it with bacon. And then I had to put it in the oven, put a timer, take it out, and while it's in the oven, I'm stripping a new thing of bacon. And it was just an ongoing thing. And like my whole first day of the shift, that's what I was doing. That whole day, I didn't even talk to Reggie yet. Reggie was doing the register, and she was making sandwiches. There was another old lady making sandwiches as well. And there was another older lady cleaning out containers. Like, I was just on bacon duty, and I remember when I left, I was so freaking tired. Oh no, you know what else they made me do? They made me take out bacon, and then at the end of the shift, when everything is done, like when there's only like 30 minutes left of work, that's when you take out the trash. So they were like, oh yeah, Naja, you need to go take out the trash. And I'm just like, okay, so I see what this is. Basically, Larry, y'all were bitching at Larry about how y'all were tired of flipping bacon and how y'all were tired of taking out this smelly ass trash. So Larry was like, don't worry about it. I'll hire somebody I don't give a fuck about. Because the more I kept talking to these girls while I was working, while I was trying to talk to them, because they were just like socially awkward and did not know how to talk to people, they would say stuff like, oh yeah, I've been working here for X amount of years, and I've been here for this amount of years, and I've been working for Larry for that amount of years. Even Reggie talking about, yeah, I've been working for Larry for 3 years. And I'm just like, okay, so you literally been having this feng shui for this much time, but you just didn't feel like flipping bacon or taking out the trash. So you went to Larry and you were like, you need to hire somebody to do these jobs because we don't want to do it. That was the vibe that I was getting. So, you know, I take out the trash. It's fucking disgusting. Dumpster juice all over my shoes and shit. Like, just fucking gross. After the first day, like, I was just not feeling it. Whenever people at the bank put tips in like the little jar, we would split the tips amongst everybody. So like literally, how many girls is there in there? It was me, Reggie, and like 4, so amongst 6 people. You know how when you at work, you don't have money to tip, so people will probably put like $1, maybe $2. You know what $2 is amongst 6 people? Not that much fucking money. Like, I was just already not feeling the job, but I was like, you know what, Naja, get this bread, let's go. So, you know, I started getting the hang of bacon duty day 2. I got the hang of bacon duty day 1, but day 2 I already knew, like, cause my thing with jobs is I like clocking in knowing exactly what I'm about to do. Like, that's just my thing. So, you know, I clock in and I'm doing my bacon duty or whatever, and I see Reggie, so I start talking to Reggie. She starts talking to me. She seemed like a really cool girl. Something seemed like a little off about her, but I just didn't know what it was. But I mean, shit, I'm pretty sure she thought something was off about me too, because I'm up in here flipping bacon looking crazy as fuck in somebody cafe at the bank, but whatever. Yeah, I talked to her, and basically the vibe I got from her, she lived with her boyfriend. They had a cat. She said that she used to work at a call center, but then she realized that call centers weren't for her, and she'd much rather be in the face-to-face customer service business. And I remember I told her, I was like, oh, well, kudos to you, because I would much rather work at a desk, like, because the bacon thing and the trash thing and like just not vibing with anybody on the staff, like there was no kumbaya. Everybody was very disconnected from each other. Like it just made me, like, if I'm gonna be disconnected from people, I might as well work at a desk by myself. Like, you get what I'm saying? So that was when like the tipping point happened to me, where I was kind of like over the whole restaurant thing and I just wanted to work at a desk. So, you know, we would talk and stuff, and I asked her, I was like, so, did you take a drug test?
Oh yeah, I took a drug test. You know, I don't smoke, I don't do anything, so it wasn't a big deal to me.
Oh yeah, I don't smoke either.
I know you fucking lie.
I was just like, oh, so does he take you to a lab? Like, I'm asking her all these questions about the drug test to the point where she probably already knows that my little dumb ass smoked. Like, it is what it is. Once because I got the bacon thing so down pat on day 2, they were like, okay, now we're gonna graduate you to making sandwiches. This place was the place where I learned that you can whisk an egg in a bowl and put it in the microwave and it'll cook. I did not know that you could cook eggs in the microwave until I got to this place. And once I saw them cooking eggs in the microwave, I was just like, bro, I don't even know if I want to eat y'all sandwiches anymore. Like, and I don't know, I know it's the same thing, but it's just a whole different type of feel when you actually get that pan out and you make yourself some eggs. Like, I've never seen no shit like that. So I was like, okay, whatever. Day 3 happened and I was like, okay, well, I have a friend. I have Reggie. I'm gonna talk to Reggie. But then I noticed Reggie started doing delivery runs. Like day 3, Reggie started doing delivery runs, and basically if somebody ordered something, they could call into the cafe, place an order, and then Reggie would run it to the person's desk. So Reggie would be doing delivery runs all freaking day. Larry even gave Reggie his car so she can go and do delivery runs. So I'm sitting in here bored as fuck with these old ass ladies. They're not talking to me. They're all talking to each other. They're not talking to me at all. They're not acknowledging me. The only time they acknowledge me is if they're like,
hey, we ran out of bacon. Hey, the trash is getting kind of full. Can you go throw it out? Like,
I finally went up to the old lady that is in charge of the register, and I was like, when can I work on the register?
oh, you got a long way so you can get on the register, honey.
Well, sis, I didn't apply to be bacon bitch. Like, what is going on? I was like, well, how long did it take you to get on the register? Because I thought that I was going to be on register from what the, you know, job description was.
Oh, well, you know, we used to put first timers on register and stuff, but then, you know, you need training. Reggie made up a new position for delivery girl, and it's actually working very well for us right now, so we're just trying to test one new thing at a time.
And I'm just like, bruh, y'all should have tested that before I fucking got here. Like, what are we doing? Like, my one friend is gone. Like, this is boring as fuck. Like, it's just not gonna work. It was just constant, like, non-chemistry. Whenever I made a tiny little mistake, all of the old ladies would just be like,
oh my god, she messed up again. Like,
you know, I burnt one tray of bacon.
Bon appetit.
I burnt a bowl of eggs. That's y'all fault, because y'all should be having a fucking pan and cooking your eggs. Like, sorry. And yeah, it's like every little thing I did that wasn't right, they made a huge deal out of it because they have been there. So, and I get it. Like, because if I'm working a job and I've been doing it a certain way for a certain amount of time and somebody new comes in and fucks up, I'm gonna be irritated too. But the difference between me and them is if I have a new person that comes on board and they're fucking up, I'm going to sit with them until they get it, so that they don't fuck up anymore and they get it too. Like, instead what they would do is they'd be like, oh my god, you still don't get it? Look, you do this, this, and this, and then they leave and then just expect me to get, no, you need to sit here with me, make sure that I get it so that we're Gucci. But no, so it was just a constant like animosity. I hated clocking in. My hair smelled like bacon. It sucked. I smelled like garbage juice and fucking bacon. I hated it. It was like only a week and a half, maybe not even, and like I just remember calling Larry and I was just like, Larry, I don't think this is gonna work. He got quiet on the phone and he was just like,
yeah, I don't think it's gonna work either. I just don't think we're really getting a chemistry with the team.
Okay, yeah, I'm not trying to be a bitch. Like, I feel the same way. I just feel like there isn't chemistry. I feel like the age difference is a big thing too. I feel like you kind of misled me on what I was applying for.
No, I mean, I understand. Maybe I could have put just cook in there. If like, I just want to know what I did wrong, so when I do post another one on Craigslist, I know.
And I was like, yeah, definitely put line cook or bacon maker and taking out the trash person. Like, that's what you need to put on the application, because I thought I was gonna be in front of a register, and that's not what it was. Like, I'm good in front of customers. That's all I needed to do. Like, I just needed to interact with people. There was no interaction in there. It just wasn't a good vibe.
Yeah, no worries. This is why we do the trial run. It's all good.
And you know, I quit that job, and I was unemployed for maybe like 2 weeks. And that's when my old friend's older sister told me to apply for the hiring agency, employment agency, and then I got on at Ratchet Corp. So that was like the last little job I had before I got on to Ratchet Corp. But yeah, that is my experience working at the cafe, at the bank, being a fucking bacon flipper, and that shit sucked. Like, it sucks so much. And I've never been a line cook before, and I thought, you know, maybe I can get the experience. I was making sandwiches, I was flipping bacon and taking out trash, and that shit just was not it for me. I know some people who genuinely enjoy that type of work. I'm just not that type of person. I prefer to be in front of the customers, talking to the customers, very customer oriented, okay? You know, have you ever applied for a job and just like the vibe just wasn't right, so you had to leave? Or maybe you applied for a certain position and they tried to give you another one? Let me know in the comments below. And yeah, I will see you guys next time. Bye.